Where pa?
Okay.
Ebi kwa juma bi nya bibi ba fi ebi kwa juma bi menya hwe. Yeah, nya bibi ba fi no de.
Say.
Okay.
Eno che say.
Eno che say ebi mu kwa juma no. Omo ye juma o bi so ma omo se ye kwa juma. Obi so ko so me de 1 city ba fi. Obi so me de 3 city ba fi. Yeah, nya bibi ba fi ni okay.
Sometimes one for 1 city anko fi ye.
Obo say wo do 1 city 0 de.
Oh ambo. Sometimes 1 city na de be kofi fa empty hand kofi.
Actually, be ma master teacher ura ha etwa to ma 1-0 sometimes be ni.
Say
o be chire.
Wani mu asem wo sa aboyi. Wani na emu asem. Na mnim say no kra betuma aba adwuma. Wani mu asem kra. World champions. Crystal Palace going to be ache no. Wani wo kasa ni ntie. Ene oni masema be say meka. E ma no nyede. Say
because Saturday na bra na wo do sabu bo some see say any ma wo ye. So relax. Obi anu unkuyu adero eye marathon. First one what is it? Found to pass here any on grass here to pass. Right. Don't worry. But only more voice be born me answer. And the more they can both voice now never start. Mama and the more two mama is here and a nice voice by insect. Born me now.
And you understand?
Richardo. Okay. Is a voice near Richardo today? Boy, no name fan start.
Are I didn't know.
What's your one?
Oh, you see me, Muna.
You say, oh, your computer. I don't know the spelling.
Anna, okay, with Mammy Tia.
Who did you as much as I want to buy it?
Mammy Tia.
It's now dominant.
You ever show me one? Hey, Mimi, hey.
I'm crashing.
Eh, me see. Other shot, me see a show me one. And you better some. Won't you bet? I'll ask them now, make one day. See, what is it? Yami had more china. You won't give me a best answer. 3-1. What a shot.
What as you?
No, Tim Nazi show, Govi. Any more?
What did you do? Show?
Oh, I'm going on to baby. Benjamin says good super. Matthias Otivicha goods. And the front three need to be about goods. I was there in a game, no. Obia man 1-1-1-1. Yenya 3. Do you know good pass out the ball? You know it.
Oh, I do.
Or bet you shim.
I raise him. Bruno,
why any travel voice?
Bruno there. Singer. Bruno there, good.
Say productions are no more. Which we try me the moon to be there.
Obi anka so we show be 3-1. Who was we show be 3-1?
This is an your production.
There we so was. Na City about Jordan, enu amoni as na match na score dey say.
But you am be.
When da be da. Match dey dey na we show be. Hey. But on a more serious note, and my performance was not bad. I think it was a good performance.
Excellent performance, no good.
Hey, Richardo. Any excellent. How can it be an excellent performance when you don't win? It's good. It's an improvement of what you've done before. But it's not excellent. You have to watch here. And no performance. Me, I'm the first person to say it. It was a good performance. And I said it from there. From how I must set it up. In fact, the game was too controversial. I think Cesar Bowie and Nissan can stand there as a goal. I don't agree with anybody who says that there was no foul here. Bowie, there a foul on Mason Mount, even before Bayenda. Who said Kofu Esha Adiana? They will focus so much on William Saliba on Bayenda, but the focus also should be on Abrante Feni Mason Mount. He's literally being shrugged out. So for me, Arsenal go no, it wasn't a goal. But me catch you, Rich. Arsenal in the last 2 years, no big six team has beaten them. Whether home or away, and you're a draw. So Arsenal, they are good at playing these games. Whether they play well, they don't play well. Opening of the season, middle of the season, constantly. I had high beliefs in Arsenal for Nhyira Jumano away at Old Trafford. The bigger problem was how Manchester United were good. Which one an opinion? My reading article will be from some Manchester United pro people, and they are saying something there. Sometimes when you lose a game, unya BB more than 3 points. And it is something that they call belief. Abia and na say no belief any idea air quantifiable. Unti found some Inti overdoing so it is nothing. But in the context of football and confidence and growth, a very, very important thing for Manchester United. I think Sandram's performance it stirred up a lot of belief, and even Manchester United fans and the players were good. Which more transitions were super. I like Brian Mbeumo in those runs. Matthias Cunha ball kind was very, very good also as well. The only thing I didn't like is this annotation. Which no munya ball ni biya box ni moi. Only said before Arsenal go ni bebano. Muna mu dominating possession. Muna mu ball until Arsenal scored from the set play. But almost every time, munya ball ni could do Arsenal for an 80-yard box ni moi. It was as if Ruben Amorim's game plan was much more defensive than attacking. This is minute 30. When you're born in the final third, in the box, Diogo Dalot and Kita Bono. In the box, Ankasa. There are only 2 Manchester United players in the box. Just 2. Whilst Arsenal have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Literally, Arsenal almost every point in time in the box. Yes, you had good transitions. Yes, you could turn over possession. But in the box, in the opponent area, Manchester United were not committing men. And for me, I don't know if that was essentially the game plan of it. This is another opportunity again. Diogo Dalot Krona. Another in the 26th minute when Manchester United had a chance in the box. Again, literally not committing men forward. You don't score in football at the highest level like that. No matter how good we are, Brian Mbeumo, Matthias Cunha, they score because consistently for their teams last season, only high quality chances in and around the box. And now she chance about Cunha. They are not clear-cut chances to score goals.
That is why I don't know. You see, coaching sometimes I'm in better than I judge coaches. Yeah. Because what goes into their decision, yeah. And yes, sir, Benjamin Sesko.
Yeah.
I'm not born. Look, you're number 9 presence. That has always been a problem
from the start.
From the start.
But even without you, we were good.
We are good. To say the now canon.
Yeah.
A banner say transit here.
Yeah.
Swift.
Yeah.
But you do 8 years cinema. As now for the baby.
I'm
1 or 2.
A banner more transit here.
Yeah.
But for
very, very swift. A quantum 1, 2, 3. I could feel me a proud Manchester United supporter.
Oh, you played well. It's just that, Rich.
Yeah, bobo, papa.
Yeah, and no bobo. But like I said, out of the 3 points, maybe I'm moving your belief out of it. If you can replicate this performance again,
sure.
Because it's easy to play this kind of football in your home crowd in a big game where new players want to show what they want to do, but it's about consistency. So Manchester United makes him replicate this way. Another one again in the course of the season. It's good for me. Constantly, my biggest problem was this. And I'm pointing out to you. Rich, look at this in minute 5. Before Arsenal for me, they can show me going. Brian Mbeumo in the box alone. Share the closest Manchester United player to him, Bruno Fernandes. No, Diogo Dalot. Almost about 10 or 20 meters away from of Brian Mbeumo.
So,
that is the only issue. Ruben Amorim set up and say, oh boy, it's going backs. Sometimes commit the men forward and then go in there and go and play. But apart from that, we have very, very good is very, very good 3 points. We have 0 points, but a good performances over there. Now, I think games need to start on Saturday, where Man City won, Liverpool on Friday. We spoke about it. Which did you see Tijani Reinders? Remember, you can't Tijani once and once.
Me born is this was the boy and now Kofi can once.
Rich.
So my main pet time pana me family me go nation me ho no kwa akwani bobo. I
said
on pass no the man hala say
whether Obo as a 6, whether Obo as an 8, whether Obo as whatever of the position that Tijani Reinders has to play up top.
Well, he hit my happen.
Yeah, super, like complete box to box. And me can say Uko Italian Serie A anymore. Me, the very first time I saw Tijani was with the Dutch national team at the last Euros. And then the born into the Mami Kodi Tijani any Dino. I mean, someone was how is somebody from Netherlands called Tijani? Until I read about how Ane Papa then to Tijani Babangida, and then from these days at Ajax Amsterdam. Right, he was brilliant. He was brilliant on the day, and Man City got off to a flying start on the day away at Wolverhampton Wanderers. I thought Sankabedia Manchester City, but it was not difficult for them. The subsequent game had to go on Sunday, and we waited for the early kickoff. Chelsea, Etnefie, Argentina, Crystal Palace, but also on Saturday, Rich Mohamed Kudus again. Did you see the difference in the Mohamed Kudus here anymore? Who said, as a Thomas Frank has given him a specific rule of not to do too much. Say, original touchline on him, because according to Opta analyst, Mohamed Kudus created 5 chances in the game and among 2 assists. And it is the very first time at Oye in the Premier League game. And I think that is excellent profiling for my brand here, your friend Thomas Frank, and Kudus executed it very, very well in the game. So kudos to him. Right on Sunday to the Chelsea game. The biggest problem was how were Chelsea going to play the match without 2 of them high volume passes? No, who's the Chelsea team number? Levi Cole, any tossing at the are literally the best, and my check several times. Be back 3 Fiifi a pass the ball. So how were Chelsea going to play without them? Because on the Saturday night, near 10 is a tossing at the also any injury. And it's going to be precautionary and not long term there. But he will sit out against the game against Crystal Palace now, and then Chelsea will go on and go and see how the game goes. It means that all of the focus fell on Abrantia, your friend Joshua Kofi, a champion, to play as CCB. And this is exactly how Chelsea set up on the board. This is the game against Leverkusen. Joshua Champion as a CCB, Tosin Adrabiayo as the LCB, your friend is saying Trevor Chaloba as the LCB, rather, in the middle of the park to try and dictate the pace of the game. Which I think it was probably the most difficult game at Chelsea have in well over 2 months since Club World Cup. Minyasho said Chelsea won a much more difficult game that they played yesterday against Crystal Palace. Before I go on, anybody who analyze the Chelsea Crystal Palace game will be failing to give credit to Oliver Glasner, then they are making a huge mistake. Or maybe they've not watched Oliver Glasner. I think that Oliver Glasner set up has been well underrated, and he deserves a lot of the credits that he has to get. Just like Andoni Areola. Rich, he came into the game with a regular 3-back here, with Richard, Lacroix, and Mark Gay. Lacroix as the CCB, Mark Gay as the left centre back, then Michael Richards as the right centre back. Then with 2 fullbacks, Tariq Mitchell and Abrantia on the other side over there. Malang Ismail Sarr, Papa Mateta and Abrantia as the top 3, then Adam Watson and Houghton in there. Which means it is not just the setup. 3-back in Kofu Brebo 3-back. But who teams, almost every team in the English Premier League these days or person of ball, control ball, will play in a 3-back. But what makes it difficult is this. Say, who's showing a tactical ball and you're looking at this annotation? Who say, Trevor Chalobani, Joshua Champoni, then on the right hand side was Rhys James. But look at the Crystal Palace players now. Jean-Philippe Mateta has come centrally and is blocking the passing lane to Moises Caicedo. Then the 2 other attackers now, any Ismail Sano, they've also come very narrow. So the first thing we learned from the game is Abrantia friend Oliver Glasner wanted to be as compact as possible. It's park in Fiifi. For players be brengum. So the Chelsea be most important players. It's you can't even find Abrantia, your friend Kopama in between the lines. You just cannot find them. Constantly, every time, Crystal Palace have blocked the passing lane, and it was very, very difficult for Chelsea to find it. Now, Rich, look at something. Say, out of possession, power ball, man. No football game will be boring for you. Look at this one. Anytime we are Obibe moving out of the block, look at Marco Kukurea. Kukurea be moving out of the block. Richards need nature. So that's the thing. In 3-backs, who bought 3-back now? It's about regular 3-back. But there's a certain level of pseudo security there. Taiwo teams on about 3-back stream say, me boy in a 3-back can be placed in the way the doors. Intimate defender. But Crystal Palace and Oliver Glasner don't do that. What they do is that once they are playing the 3-back, they exert pressure. And that's the second thing. Compactness. The second thing is about the exertion of pressure from Crystal Palace. Every time somebody will move out of the Chelsea block to come and receive outside, nobody in the chi. And essentially, they had blocked almost every passing lane from team and friend the Chelsea Football Club. Rich, in this instance, this was the only time our branch friend Joshua Kofi a champion tried to play forward. You see, it was something I know person. He's a young player, but immediately he tried to play forward one as a J ball. From then, he decided to just carry the ball instead of passing the ball forward. And I think, sir, on the ball, off the ball, he was very good. Or going to 7 duels, or we need 5. But again, or making sure, say, in terms of on the ball, it was long. Chelsea forward tries to call long into the part of Pedro Neto. Anytime they did, it was 2v1 in wide areas. It was too difficult. Centrally, Crystal Palace were top notch. And also because the Chelsea did not have the needed players, I'll break it down Crystal Palace for no block. It made it very, very difficult for them to play. Now, what do you mean Crystal Palace for anytime Chelsea had the ball? Look at Muniz. Or jumping Marco Crea in the left hand side. Very, very interesting setup. Now look at this. Marco Kopama, a movie to come and take the ball on the blind side. Adam Watson in the chi. Rich. The ball goes back to Abranti Efreno. James. Then you see some Magay ever jumping out very soon. Look at Magay right now jumping out on Abranti Efreno Moses Caicedo. And almost every time the block is there, but then Crystal Palace will jump out. I also think that Rich. There were good openings for Chelsea to score a goal. In the second half, we will say Enzo Maresca as Sanyoma. If Joshua Champion will take some time to grow into the CCB role now, I dare Enzo Maresca bit my and say, so yeah, the year with Moses Caicedo in the second half. No? Or you see Caicedo as a half back, part of the centre back, no, but a midfielder. It's Caicedo Babaji ball, then he plays it forward into the part of Marco Crea. And the match Chelsea. It created some quality chances over there. But again, it was not the best game. The chances were there.
Brony say too young, but that's a Uche.
Medjuma say it's a match. Boy, a go and an go.
Yeah, Claire go. Claire go.
But the own got to
Claire go.
Now, explanation about for the balance.
My kind is my
kind for say, Mammy just meet me.
My kind
is almost say war. Opponent defender ain't mean but within 1 meter or more of the wall.
Okay.
And in Magay trying to push Abranche friend Caicedo out of this position, about 1 meter of the wall. It's according to them, affect. Say, Nasi your ball.
Who could she be near me?
Now, one baby, Moda him.
Why?
Moda him.
And no encourage.
La Liga referees, any English Premier League referees.
Every jam blue or blast Muntini. I go Mamuntino. Say, Anna could from body as season and near Monco you. Oh, they say world class and winning to baby and you would give you. What they say a friend every jam blue or stars. Who and Chichimu at the man of penny na Uba Saturday Ness and Kawaka.
Now the Saturday,
I know you difficulty now. Why not? Premier League, one else or two.
Now the Saturday,
when you go solid free, you didn't best call Maza.
They have to was here. They be all up at the last lap. We need problem, but every mouth. But Obia, you say, Ukoi, one fashion, I'm making. You have to was here. But say, Spanish La Liga referees, the English Premier League referees, if only here, Jumapa. You see the Barca game. I don't have a problem with the first goal of Barca for share. Your friend is saying first goal no Lamine Yamal Bono or Bob to Rafinha and Boshe no. I don't have a problem with that. But Rich, Ferran Torres born or share no. Even a Ukraine or a problem with it. Hansi it afflicts or a big problem with it. You see, even if it was him and Kobe furious, because player that former Asoniti, but still the ball went on. I think there's a referee. There's so much money. Yeah, but twice.
Okay, Nti Edamase. Abidjan Blue All Stars.